I do believe that emerging technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning hold the potential to drastically improve our rail ecosystem by increasing safety and efficiency.
At a Senate Commerce, Space, and Transportation hearing on June 18th, Senator Todd Young of Indiana asked leaders from the railroad industry how they're thinking about modernizing America's rail network. Young opened his line of questioning by asking Ian Jefferies, CEO with the Association of American Railroads, about emerging technologies that can improve safety.
I wanted to dig in a little deeper on how exactly you've seen technology like automated track inspection, something we've discussed, or anything else that is improving safety and efficiency. Can you shine a light onto this for us?
When it comes to track inspection, we have in most of our inspection protocols, a very manually focused protocol about how and when to inspect our tracks that generally requires a segment of a line to be shut down and individuals to walk the track using the naked eye looking for potential flaws. And that was the best way to do that when the regulations were established some time ago. Well, as with every other industry, this industry's continued to evolve and develop new technology and innovate and find new, better ways to do things. And so the principal characteristics of ATI are that, one, you can affix an autonomous track inspection tool to a revenue service train, so you're not taking that line out of service. You are continuously inspecting the line as you're moving through revenue service, so you're covering more ground, you're doing it more frequently, and you're doing it at a higher level of sophistication. In early pilot programs at the FRA, 90% improvement in defect detection occurred using ATI versus the naked eye. That shouldn't be surprising to any of us, but that's the fact. And so our thesis with using ATI as the example is let's continue to build the data sets appropriate to prove out. We think we've proven it out, but let's take sequential steps to further prove out that using ATI in lieu or in addition to a manual inspection will result in a higher level of safety. And as that is proven out by the data, then there should be a smooth, predictable, objective process for rolling that new, better way of doing things into the regulation to meet a regulatory requirement. And we think that's through an outcomes-based approach. So tell me the performance standard you want to meet and allow me to figure out the best way to meet that or exceed that, and we should all get the outcome we're looking for.
Young followed up with the same tech question to Peter Gilbertson, CEO of Anacostia Rail Holdings, and Husein Cumber of Brightline Holdings.
Do either of you have anything to add as it relates to this technology question?
I just mentioned the interplay between, for example, the CRISI program and technology. I mentioned this app, but another good example is RailPulse. RailPulse is a consortium of large and small railroads, and it provides a tag on rail cars that provide both safety and customer information to the user. We just joined the consortium. It, again, was seeded by a CRISI grant several years ago. And I think the part that appealed to FRA was, again, both customer value and safety improvement. We just bought, Senator, 100 new rail cars to serve the steel industry in Indiana. We're tagging all those cars with this new technology. And it's a quantum leap in where is that car located. We know exactly where it's located. So these are the kinds of things that I think are out there. And again, there is an interplay between the funding and the technology.
Yes. Mr. Cumber?
Two short examples, Mr. Chairman. So with respect to Brightline and what we're doing, one area where evolving regulatory thinking could help is current regulations for broken rail detection are emerging as a roadblock for higher speed trains. So for example, European high-speed rail networks depend on preventative measures to address the risk of broken rail conditions. And the preventative measures include an inspection vehicle that checks the track every morning before service starts. And so what you're doing is preventing a broken rail condition by using high-resolution cameras that monitor and detect rail flaws before they can grow in significance. The current U.S. regulations require the installation of track circuits to identify when a broken rail condition has happened. But we need to change the regulatory thinking and look at ways on how we make sure we're preventing the broken rail condition from actually happening, not monitoring when it actually happens. Second, very quickly, is I'm on the board of Parallel Systems, which is the first company that has designed an autonomous battery electric rail vehicle that can travel up to 500 miles. We got the first waiver from the Federal Railroad Administration, started the pilot in Georgia 2 weeks ago. And for more than a year, we struggled to get permission from the FRA to test the vehicle because of antiquated regulations that require self-powered vehicles to have bathrooms and windshields. And so this is where technology is leaped ahead of the regulations in statute. And so
You don't think a self-powered vehicle needs a windshield?
and so self-powered rail car, right?
Yeah.
And so, but what's interesting about these cars is they're designed to be able to monitor wheel bearing temperatures 30 times per second. They can stop much quickly than other rail cars. And so you see here the regulation and the legislative regulations having to catch up to technology in this reauth process.
For more videos like this, stay tuned to Congress Clips, and thanks for watching.